Steve Dotto here. Today it's all about dictating. I want to be a dictator. I've wanted to be a dictator as long as I can remember. I have always desired the abandonment of the keyboard in favor of the human voice and being able to dictate into the computer. And indeed, we've had different dictation applications for a long time. Some of them worked poorly, some of them were just awful. But with the latest evolution of operating systems, especially in the Apple world, dictation is becoming a reality. There's lots of talk about it around Siri and the iPhone and all of that sort of stuff. So I wanted to show you several different options you have to become an incredibly proficient dictator. Now, it begins with for me on the Mac. And with the latest version of the operating system, the Lion version of the operating system, if you go into the system settings here, you will see that they have a selection here called Dictation and Speech. If we select that and turn it on, we can then choose what microphone we want to use in order to use it as a dictation tool. Now, dictation works in most applications that allow text. Some web-based applications it doesn't work out. For instance, in Google Drive, dictation doesn't work. But it does in Evernote, it does in your email software, and it does in an application like Microsoft Word that I have open here. And I have mine configured so that if I press the function key twice, it automatically comes up and allows me to dictate. And to be honest, since I started using this, I dictate an awful lot more. It's pretty even now with typing, especially for quick replies to emails and such. So let me show you. I'm just going to hit the function key twice on my keyboard, and you see this little microphone appears, comma. When you dictate, you have to insert all punctuation yourself, period. That allows the software to know what appropriate punctuation there should be, comma. Once you've finished dictating your message, hit the function key again, and it will then insert the text, period. Let's see if it worked. And it, not bad at all, really, is it? It's done just a great job of recognizing my text. So that is dictation on the Mac. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Siri, of course, the iOS 6 app, which runs on the phone. And Siri is indeed a tremendously capable dictation tool. Actually, it's more a virtual assistant. It does more than dictation. It allows you to do some extra things as well. So let me just show you, for those of you who have never played with Siri or haven't used it, let me show you how it works. I've got it fired up here on my phone. And with Siri, you can actually tell it to do different functions as well. So I'll give you an example. Email Steve Dotto. Subject, be sure to wake up early tomorrow morning.
Which email address for Steve? What would you like your email to say?
Be sure to get up early tomorrow morning as you have a conference call at 6 o'clock, period. You great stud, you.
Here's your email message to Steve Dotto.
Stuggin.
Ready to send it?
No, I think I'll cancel it. I'm a great stoggin. But as you can see, it's fairly accurate. Do you know where I use Siri the most, though? Is in quick little replies to texts that come in and out. So if I had a text like this one here, typically speaking, I'm terrible on the keyboard replying to texts. So if you look down here in the very bottom of the screen, there's that little microphone. That's part of the same function set. If I tap on that, I can say, let's have lunch tomorrow. And so that automatically fills in texting. I find this way more efficient for replying to texts than trying to type in. And I now use this almost exclusively as my text replying function or tool on my when I'm using my Apple phone. So as you can see, text recognition has come a long way. However, having said all of this, not all of our iOS devices are created equal. I'm opening up my iPad here, and I'll show it to you on the screen as well. Now, I have an older iPad. This is an iPad 2, but I have upgraded it to the latest version of the operating system. Now, for some reason, Apple chose not to include Siri for iPad 2s that have been upgraded to iOS 6. Maybe it doesn't have enough processing power. I don't know the reason. But the net result for those of us who have iPads 2s that are upgraded to iOS 6 that want to use voice as either a command or dictation tool within it, we have to find alternate systems. Now, for managing the iPad, for doing things like send a text, look this up, There's a great tool called Vlingo, which you should take a look at. Vlingo. Wonderful app that does great kind of assistant management type stuff. So it does some of what Siri would do. But for the dictation side, which is what this one's all about, Dragon Dictation seems to me to be the best option. It's free, and it does a pretty darn good job. So let's give it a shot and try it. Now I'm just going to use I'll be using a little microphone, which you can see right here. That's a virtual representation of in the top of the screen. So let's do this. This dictation software does quite a good job of allowing us to dictate on older iPads that aren't supporting the new Siri system that Apple has on their newer iPads. That was brilliant, wasn't it? So now it processes it. This dictation software, so you can see that it does a pretty darn good job, again, of converting my voice into text. Now, you have to come up with a bit of a system to get this text now into an email or something like that. So you can actually, if we click here on the little bar here at the top, we can email this directly. We can send it out to a couple of different social networking areas. What I do is if I am going to dictate, say, an email here that I don't really usually want to send it right from the iPad, what I'll do is I'll email it to myself, and then I'll copy and paste it into an email on my computer. But it does allow me to do some dictation work here on the iPad, which is, again, a great benefit because the keyboard on the iPad, of course, isn't all that great. Overall, the world of dictation has certainly come a very long ways in a very short period of time, relatively speaking. For the longest time, we had poor dictation software that we had to train and was very flaky, difficult to use. But in just the last 2 years or so, we've seen dictation software just explode as far as its capability, not just on the Mac, but on almost all of our different mobile and desktop platforms. If you do decide that you want to start incorporating dictation in your workflow, you have to think a little more structured than you do when you're working on a keyboard. Your thought process has to slow down as far as what you're putting out because it's just a different workflow as you dictate instead of writing. You have to remember to put in all of the punctuation, and of course you should make sure that you proofread really well at the end. I hope you found this useful. If you have, please give us a like and let people know that the Dotto Tech videos are useful to them in their life. I'm Steve Dotto. We will see you soon right here again.